Hey guys, and welcome back to the J2O channel. And this is your match preview of Brentford versus Chelsea at the Community Stadium. Obviously, it's sort of like a West London type derby. You get me? Obviously, Chelsea, we do well in London derbies, especially away from home. We do quite decent most of the time. So, I understand that tomorrow is going to be a tough game, Brentford. They've been a bit of an interesting side this season. Obviously, Thomas Frank, the manager, has been, I think, obviously, when they got promoted from the Championship last season. It was the first time they were in a top flight division in like over 70 years or something like that. So that was an incredible achievement for them. They obviously finished 13th that season. They were tough for the most part. They were quite an interesting team to watch, an interesting team to face. Obviously, the last time we were at Brentford in the Premier League, we won 1-0. And funnily enough, it was actually on the 16th of October that game, where Mendy obviously had that masterclass, goalkeeping masterclass against them. And on that same date, a year later, Kepa has that same masterclass against Villa away from home. So it's just funny how, at the end of the day, we do have two good goalkeepers. But at the end of the day, as well as that, Brentford are also a really good side. I think this season have been a bit inconsistent. They've shown some good results by beating Brighton recently and, beating Man United 4-0, but then they get absolutely slaughtered away at Newcastle 5-1 and, they lose 3-0 at home to Arsenal, who have been doing well. So they've been an interesting side, even in terms of system. They've been playing between 4 and 3 at the back, 3-5-2 sort of in the big games, in their big games, and 4 at the back in maybe games they feel like they want to control. So it feels like in this game tomorrow they're going to play a 3-5-2 probably. Tony and Mbeumo, is that his name? Mbeumo, I'm sure that's his name. Those two normally have a very good partnership, strike partnership. Obviously Ivan Tony's the danger man. That's the guy we have to look out for tomorrow. He's on form. I saw something on his penalty record where the guy scored, I think in the Prem at least, or is it all time? I think it's in of his all-time career. I think he's had like 20 penalties and he scored all 20. I'm not quite sure if that's in the Prem or if that's in the of his whole time being a Brentford player or just his career in general. But I did see that record. It's a pretty good record. He has 100% success rate in penalties. So hopefully we don't concede a penalty tomorrow. But yeah, Tony, it feels like people call him like a version of Didier Drogba. Like he's Didier Drogba reincarnated. And I can understand why. He's very quick. He's very strong. He's a nuisance to play against. He's got a good first touch. He creates space for others, makes runs in behind. He drops deep. He can score goals. He can assist goals. His passing is pretty good. Very underrated. He's a very complete centre forward. 27 years of age. Yeah, he's been on form recently. I'm pretty sure he's up there for top goal scorers in the Premier League. I think he has 8 goals, which is one behind Harry Kane, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, so far in the league this season, Tony's doing the business, man, and they've had to heavily rely on him. If we can stop him, then I think we'll stop a huge part of Brentford and the way they play and the way they attack us tomorrow. Because it feels like tomorrow we will go there to dominate the play, but at the same time, maybe Brentford could press us high. They could go on the counter attack a couple times as well and really put pressure on us. Also, the atmosphere at Brentford is really, really good. Their fan base, always puts up a loud noise. The crowd's always up for it. And yeah, it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. In terms of us, though, Graham Potter done his press conference. First of all, on Thiago Silva, he pretty much said, it's not about his injury. He's not injured. He's fine. It's just a recovery, 24, 48 hours. We have to see whether we have to look after him pretty much. We've got to basically just be cautious and, know when to play him, when not to play him, when to rest him and stuff like that. And I feel like in tomorrow's game, he's probably going to get rested. Obviously, against Villa, he had a bit of tightness in his hamstring. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to play tomorrow. I think the game is too soon for him considering his age. He's 38 years old. So, I think he's going to get a rest tomorrow. And him getting a rest sort of brings me to the formation that I think we could play. And before I get to that, somebody actually asked him about Zakaria, which was interesting enough. Finally, a question about Zakaria. And Potter pretty much just said, look, he's been patient. He's going to get his chance. He's saying he's been training well. And yeah, he said he's an important member of the squad and stuff like that. So he's just saying typically what a manager would say about a player that's not been playing at all. Or the guy's not played at all, actually, like, period. He just has not been playing. So yeah, we'll see if he does tomorrow. I don't think he will. Maybe after the Man United game, you may start seeing him, maybe in rotation. But yeah, it looks like Potter's not really rating him based on the fact that in a couple Premier League games he hasn't put him on the bench. Even when he's been on the bench, he hasn't brought him on. Nothing like that. So it seems to me that he prefers Ruben, Connor, Kova, Jorginho. You know, if he's fit, Kante, who has it's just been revealed that he's out for 4 months now, which is really, really unfortunate on his part. And hopefully he gets a speedy recovery and comes back stronger, at least for the rest of this season. Whether he's going to be at Chelsea beyond this season, I don't know. But I hope he has a speedy recovery, of course. But yeah, when it comes to the lineup formation, I think Graham Potter's going to use a similar formation and and a similar group of players that he used against Wolves. Against Wolves, we played like a 4-2-3-1. I think a lot of the players that we played in that game, a lot of the players that played in that game, and the system we used and the hybrid between 3 and 4, I think is going to be used in this game. Considering we rotated in that game, and considering in this game we do need to rotate because in the past 2 games, Milan and Aston Villa, we've used similar teams, similar players have played in both games. Some have played 90 minutes, some have played just a good portion of both games. So I think in this game there's going to be a huge amount of, not a huge amount of rotation, but I think a, a bit of rotation is needed, I think. So yeah, in terms of the formation, I think a starting base should be a 4 at the back, not 3 at the back. And I think as I go on about my lineup, I'll say why and how we could switch to 3 in game, maybe defensively, off the ball, on the ball, who knows. But yeah, let's just get into it. Obviously, in goal, Kepa, he's been in good form, been doing well. Hopefully, he keeps it up. Tomorrow's going to be a test for him because, I feel like on the counter attack, they're going to be a threat. So he's going to have to deal with some shots from close range potentially. Aerially as well, Kepa hopefully tries to be dominant and command his box because I know Brentford from set pieces are a threat from corners, free kicks, etc. Even long throw-ins, like yeah, these men are like Stoke City with their long throw-ins and that. So yeah, we'll see in terms of that. And then obviously the back 4, I think Cucurella should play left back, Azpilicueta should play right back. With Aspi, yeah, there's no one else there. I don't know who else you'd play there. In a back 4 system, at least maybe Chalobah would be the other shout, but like I said, Thiago Silva's getting rested, and if you're not putting Aspi and Chalobah swapping positions and that, so you know what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, Azpilicueta right back, Cucurella left back. I think Cucurella, obviously last game wasn't great, but I'd like him to play in this game. Chilwell recently has been starting way more games than him, and I think Chilwell needs to rest, maybe be dropped, if I'm being honest with you, because I don't think he's been great the last couple of games. Cucurella at Aston Villa wasn't great either, but in his last game against Wolves that he played, he was really, really good. So I can't see why Cucurella can't play in this game and why he shouldn't play in this game, and possibly why he shouldn't play in the Man United game, because I think he should. But yeah, that's that. I think Cucurella left back. I think in terms of possession, he's going to be very key for us down that left hand side. Hopefully, he links up with whichever winger Potter will put down that side. And yeah, I think when they press us in possession, tight spaces, breaking their press, Cucurella is going to be important with those line breaking passes that he puts through from the left hand side. So yeah, play him on the left hand side, left back. And then in terms of the centre backs, I played Chalobah and Koulibaly. Yeah, every time Chalobah starts a game for us, within a 90-minute period, we don't lose. We just don't lose. So yeah, play him. I don't see why not. And then in terms of Koulibaly, yeah, Koulibaly's been really good for us since Potter's come in at least. He's been solid every time he started. He's been great. He came off the bench against Villa, solidified that back line. So yeah, really good from Koulibaly. And then when you look at the midfield's a bit interesting for me because I won't play Kova in this game. And I think in a game like this, you do need Kovacic. But the reason why I'm not going to play Kova in this game is because I think he needs a rest. I think he needs a rest. At the end of the day, since Potter's come in, we played 6 games. Kova started in 5 of them. And I'm pretty sure in at least 4 of them, he's played 90 minutes. Or maybe 3 of them, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, 3 of them I think it is, because he came off against Villa last week. He played the whole game against Palace. He played the whole game against Milan away. And I think he played the whole game against Milan at home, I think. So, yeah. But regardless, Kova, considering his injury record, considering his durability issues, I think it's best we start Jorginho and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I think with those two we get control in the midfield. I also think we have a bit of physicality in the midfield as well. And yeah, Jorginho only played what 30 minutes of last week. He should be fit enough to play in this game at least. And I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek, look, every time he's stepped up, every time he's had to start a game for us, he's done well. And I think he should continue with that. And I think he deserves to play in a game like this. Kovacic, just let him rest. You know what I'm saying? I think Jorginho and Ruben should be able to handle the business. I guess my only worry with that midfield pairing is at times maybe on the counter attack they could lack a bit of awareness potentially. I think Jorginho defensively can be weak, of course, in terms of maybe getting dribbled past. But other than him getting dribbled past, I think Jorginho defensively, for the most part, is actually quite underrated for us. And I think a lot of people overdo it when they talk about how bad he is defensively. It's like it's not as bad as people think. Like his defensive awareness, for the most part, is actually really, really good. When it comes to players dribbling past him, that is an issue, of course, because he lacks the physicality. But Ruben is there. That's why Ruben is there, for the physicality, for the strength, and then for the quality on the ball. In terms of being press resistant and being able to pass the ball forward and have line breaking passes, Jorginho is there for that as well. So I think both of them can complement each other in this game. And then obviously, in the number 10 position, I would play Mason Mount. I think he's been in good form. He's playing well. Graham Potter Lord's praise for him in his recent press conference, and he said something about how he doesn't understand how people criticize him and stuff like that. Potter said ever since he's worked with him, he's been a good guy, top player. He likes him a lot, and the way he raves on about Mason Mount is just going to be a very important player for us, guys, and we have to accept that. So for me, he plays in the number 10 role. On the left, I'd play Pulisic personally. I think the fact that he hasn't started in either of the last two games and he hasn't even come off the bench, I think tells me that he's going to start in this game. If he doesn't start in this game, I'm going to be confused. I'm going to be concerned for him as well, because I'm now thinking to myself, you can't start in this game, and if Potter's not starting Pulisic in a game like this, then his future at Chelsea really looks bad for him. And it's probably best for all parties if he does leave. Even if he starts in this game, it may be best for all parties if he does leave in general. But in this game particularly, I think he should start, because he has not played a single minute in the last two games. So why shouldn't he start? So yeah, start him. And then on the right-hand side, it was a tough one for me, but I'm going to play Sterling, because I think Sterling is one of those players where, yes, he hasn't been in good form, but I don't want to drop him because of that form. He's one of those players that can turn it on at any moment. He's one of those players where, when he's on it and when he's confident, he's a really good player and he adds a lot of value to our team. So I play him on the right-hand side as a right winger, though, not like as a right wing back where he has to track back a lot. Do you get what I'm saying? And when it also comes to the shape, in terms of now using 3-4-3 or like 3-5-2 or whatever you want to call it, it's one of those ones where I think Sinas Kukre and Azpilicueta are both capable of playing centre back in a back three. I think it's one of those ones where we can rotate between them. There can be times in the game where Cucurella can go as the left centre back, Koulibaly and Trevor Chalobah most likely, and then you can have Pulisic drop in to sort of be a left wing back type thing. Although in the Wolves game he was pretty much a left winger, so I think that can happen. Sterling can tuck in maybe alongside Aubameyang and Mason Mount, and then you have Kova and Ruben, and there you go. There's your sort of 3-4-3, if you get what I'm saying. Or it can be the other way around, where Raheem Sterling can go into the right wing back position and Azpilicueta can drop into the back three. It can happen like that. Now, I think if they were to play together, Sterling and Pulisic, it's most likely that Pulisic gets the left wing back role. Cucurella tucks in because he's probably a better left centre back than Azpilicueta is currently right now. And yeah, we shape up like that in a way. And that could make way more sense tactically, offensively, defensively as well. And yeah, I don't see why that can't happen. So yeah, that's how I would sort of have the hybrid of changing between a back three to a back four. Maybe on the ball we can be a back four, off the ball we can be a back three and match Brentford. So yeah, that's what I'd go with. And then Aubameyang up top. It wouldn't surprise me though if like Broha got a start, which I think it could happen. I think Broha could actually get a start for us tomorrow. Kai Havertz, just sit on the bench, like please. no way. He should be nowhere near the starting 11, in my opinion. He's had a couple chances and he's not doing well. So that's that. I think Aubameyang should start tomorrow. Hopefully he bangs in a goal or two. Hopefully we create chances for him. And hopefully as a team in general, we just play better, because against Aston Villa, we were just not on it. The team was off it. They didn't feel up for it. It felt like, it felt lazy as well. Yeah, there was just a lack of energy in that game against Villa, hence why we got battered in that first half and Kepa had to save us. So yeah, that would be my team, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn those post notifications, follow my social media down below. Tell me what team you would play and tell me your score prediction as well. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Chelsea win. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be close. Brentford are going to provide a threat, especially aerially on the counter-attack. We've got to look out for Tony. And yeah, hopefully we get that win, guys, because it's needed. And yeah, guys, I'll see you tomorrow for the player ratings and my match review. See you then. Peace.